Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're back here at Reeve Subaru in Tampa, Florida, and I have one bad mamma jamma of an SUV. This is a Jeep Trackhawk. But before we get into this supercharged, all-wheel drive beast of a vehicle, let's talk about what's going on here. Jeep, part of that MOPAR brand lineup. What they did in 2018 was something that really shocked everybody that wasn't expecting it. They took the Hellcat motor from the Challenger and the Charger Hellcats, just plucked it right from those vehicles and dropped it into the very popular Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now, the wonderful news is, not only did they not detune the engine, so you're looking at 707 horsepower from the factory, but when you go Jeep Trackhawk, you're getting all-wheel drive, something that you're not gonna be able to get on a Challenger or a Charger. So what I wanna find out is, this Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk that we have, is this the ultimate performance SUV? Because obviously there's a new kid on the block, straight from the MOPAR bin. It's the Dodge Durango Hellcat. 710 horsepower, supercharged goodness. The great news is guess what? Ours is not stock. So what I want to find out is, there's actually two things. Is this the ultimate performance SUV? And also, is this particular one done right when it comes to the mods? So let's go ahead, let's dive into this Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk and find out. Right off the bat, you'll notice when looking at a Durango Hellcat, much shorter. It really has a tidier silhouette to it, and that's because obviously we're not having to deal with an extra third row that you get in the Durango. Now, up front, I love the styling. Even though 2018, it's been a few years, it's still looking sharp with the headlight design. So of course you're gonna get LED daytime running lamps. You have that projector beam headlight going on inside, and I like the way they blacked out the whole interior. Now there is a little bit of gloss black, but the great news is it kind of blends in nicely with that 7-slotted grille. Dropping down, I love the boldness. You're gonna have functional corner vents. Bring all the cool air for all those heat exchangers. A little bit of this gunmetal gray color, like the finish. And look at the way they took the actual front fascia and extended it down. This Jeep Grand Cherokee is gonna perform not only in a straight line, but also on a road course like you've never ever seen before. And a lot of it has to do with the aero that was worked on from the factory, those MOPAR SRT engineers. Now, as we come across that 7-slotted grille, nothing screams Jeep more than the 7-slotted grille. I'm actually digging the gloss black. It's very minute because they filled each one of the slots with that gunmetal gray finish, nice flat finish. And then of course, underneath that portion, you're gonna have functionality in the center. Really helps bring more cool air, because remember, hot air robs us of horsepower. We want cold, dense air, and you're definitely gonna be able to flow more air with more openings. Now, as we drop down, you do have this lower grille area, which is also functional. A strip of gloss black, nothing too crazy. And as you work your way down, you actually have a separate splitter to help give us that downforce and also direct air at the front of this vehicle. But definitely very wide, very menacing. Now, when we get up onto the hood, you're gonna see not a stock hood. This was actually added by the previous owner. It is a Demon style hood. I think this is exactly the way it should have came from the factory, because what are you getting? You're getting that bulge. Everybody wants the bulge. You're getting the bulge, but the great news is you're getting the horsepower to back up the bulge. And with this Demon style hood, you have that nice rise that creates the bulge, and then you're gonna get full functionality all the way across, and it really just adds that little extra something that makes you say, uh-oh, maybe I shouldn't mess with this particular SUV. Now, when you come around the bend, you're gonna notice that this is sitting on lowering springs, and I really think that it sets it off perfectly. It's not too low to where it's like you're gonna have to worry about any tire rub on the inside of the fender, and it really allows those painted fender flares to even look more aggressive. But here we're working with our wheel and tire setup. You got your 20-inch wheel. I like the nice flat metallic silver finish, that Y-spoke design, and then the previous owner decided, you know what, let's change up that caliper cover. We have these Granny Smith apples of a Brembo caliper here. And I'm telling you right now, These things grip so powerful. Those 6-piston Brembos grip so powerful that if you put some Granny Smith apples in there, you're gonna have instant applesauce lickety-split. Talking about lickety-split, you're gonna be able to break this thing from a high speed in such a fast time with those massive rotors. So you have over 15-inch rotors, 2-piece. So you have your aluminum hat, steel rotor, fully ventilated, and this thing, like I said, is gonna do the business. Not only supercharged power, but you're also getting the braking power, because you wanna be able to go, but you also need to stop. And with the lowering springs and the special tuned dampers, all 4 corners from MOPAR, this thing is gonna handle on a road course or your favorite twisty bits like you've never seen before. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what is the size of this tire? 315s up front. 315s, 35 series sidewall, all-wheel drive. Let's continue this journey. Down below, you got the Grand Cherokee badge. That's what the vehicle started life off as. Instead of getting a V6 or even a standard V8, you're getting that supercharged goodness. You do have the color match on the mirror caps. Turn signals built into the mirrors. Very, very low roof rails. I almost feel like they should have left those off. So I am gonna zonk these. I think this thing, nobody's gonna be going camping in this. Let's be real. So take off these flat black plastic roof rails, get those out of here. You do have color matched on the door handles, which is nice. Gloss black trim around the side glass, and I love the nice sill extension. Nothing too crazy, but it flows nicely with the flared fenders. And as we get to the rear, you can see how that fender flares out. Out back, you can still see the massive calipers that we're running, and the rotors out back are going to be cross-drilled and slotted, and of course fully ventilated. But really nice to see that braking capability. 315s, all 4 corners. Let me put that in perspective for you. If you have your Charger Hellcat or Challenger Hellcat wide body, you have 305s, all 4 corners. These are 315s. Talk about steamroll. Let's steamroll to the back here. As we get to the tail end of business, you got very simple low roof spoiler. I wish they would have done something a little bit more aggressive, since this is a Trackhawk, to really give it that little something extra. And then of course we need to get rid of this wiper, tuck that in. So we're gonna have to zonk that, but you do have your Jeep badge with the gloss black and that gunmetal gray. Clean, tasteful on the taillights. I'm fine with that. And then as we work our way down, look what we got peeking past the rear bumper, that Borla exhaust. I love the black tips, nice slash cut, oval shape. You do have a lot of gloss black on this lower section, and this is, I'm definitely gonna zonk. This is way too much gloss black down here. But this exhaust, it really fits it to a T. I can't wait to give you an eargasm when we fire it up. The previous owner debadged this. So if you're not paying attention, you're like, oh, look at that Jeep Grand Cherokee, Mom. Normally there's a Trackhawk badge here. The previous owner debadged it so you could sneak up and just blow the doors off those lesser muscle cars and performance SUVs. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see that supercharged V8. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on the beast. Underneath this composite hood, you'll notice this clear panel here. What this is for is to direct the air. So you got, of course, that functional massive hood scoop. It's gonna take the air, and when the hood's closed, look what it is meeting up to. You have an AFE open air box with that cone air filter in there, and the Track Series carbon fiber air intake system. It's a thing of beauty, and it really matches well with the rest of the sexiness from the supercharged V8. If you're wondering, what is this other Granny Smith apple? It's kind of nice. They kind of color match some of the under the hood with the exterior. So that is an air oil separator. That actually is used on many performance applications, and definitely something that you would want to add to your Jeep Trackhawk. That should have really came from the factory. But what are we looking at? We're looking at that 6.2 liter supercharged Hellcat motor. That's a V8, 707 horsepower stock. Now I'm going to give you stock horsepower numbers, and I'm going to explain why. 707 horsepower stock, 645 pounds-feet of torque. It is mated to that Torque Flight 8-speed automatic transmission, and of course all-wheel drive, getting the power to the ground. 0 to 60 in a mind-blowing stock. Not this particular one, but stock, 0 to 60, 3.5 seconds. Quarter mile is gonna blaze by at 11.9 seconds at 115 miles an hour. Top speed, yes, in a Jeep Grand Cherokee 180 miles an hour. Now here are some of the extras that they did. Of course, the intake, which I also showed you, they changed up the supercharger pulley and they added the exhaust. I'm sure there's gonna be some kind of tune that goes with all of this, so I am not gonna speculate on horsepower numbers, but it definitely is more than 707 horsepower. And if you wanna know MPGs, you are watching the wrong vehicle. Immediately search Prius here on Raiti's Rides YouTube to watch a video that may make you a little bit happier. But stock, you're looking at 11 MPGs in the city, 17 on the highway, and the vehicle, even though it's a silver bullet, it weighs 5,258 pounds. So quite unbelievable. You know, even though it's been a few years, it's still mind-blowing to wrap your mind around what this engine can do and how it can perform. But let's get to that part. I promised you an eargasm. Get your towel ready. We're gonna fire up this Trackhawk and let it roar. Guys, we're inside this 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I forgot about these. I've been so excited about the Durango Hellcat. I've been looking at some of the German Euro brands with, you know, the X5M competition and all that kind of stuff. I'm digging this bad boy, especially the way it's been changed up a little bit. How much is this one? So, brand new, stock, with all the fixings, this thing was close to $100,000. This particular one, with all the changes that have been made by the previous owner, you're looking at an asking price of $82,000. Let's see what you get for the money to the door panel. I do like the nice touches. You got that contrast stitching, that premium smooth material up top that's nice and soft. You got the carbon fiber, and then as you get to the center of the door panel, look at those nice diagonal stitches going on. Just, it's funny how little touches like that bring up the whole level of feel, fit, and finish. Nice soft armrest with the stitch work. The stitch work even drops down and kind of flows into the door pocket. Speaking of the door pocket, I'm gonna zonk it. It's super small. Maybe one Boston cream donut, and that is it, and a bottle of Yoo-Hoo. Don't put two, you're gonna squirt cream all over this beautiful interior, and it's got the optional Harman Kardon sound system. Now when we go from that Harman Kardon sound system and the dash to from the door panel to the dash, you got the smooth material, there's that contrast stitching. I like the way they brought it in. You have more of that carbon fiber style material. Even this silver finish, it's just something different than just regular gloss black. Now when you get to the infotainment side of things, you're still working with the 8.4-inch Uconnect system. And it really is a very intuitive system. Obviously all your AC controls, heated seats, ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. My favorite part though is the drive mode. You hit the drive mode button on the center console by the shifter, and now we could go into our different modes. You could go into race options, launch control, shift light, the whole shabam. That's what I love about MOPAR, and that's what I love about this Trackhawk. You have that bright red start stop button to fire up this beast, and then if you don't like screens, you got buttons for everything else. Your AC control, radio control. Sliding down that silver trim, we open up door number one. What do we got? Some felt lining, and you have two USBs, an aux jack, and a 12 volt in there. What you're gonna wanna keep in here is that Twinkie or two to give to the person that you blow their doors off. And the great news is you can help them bring their doors home because you got all that room that you're gonna see in the cargo area. More of that silver trim. This is controlling that Torque Flight 8-speed automatic transmission from ZF. And look what we have. We have the red key, and I like the way they put the Trackhawk badge there. This is gonna unlock all the horsepower, and you have your buttons on the back. The panic button is for the person that you just blew their doors off. So hit that for them as they're freaking out. In the center console, there's that drive modes button, and then you're gonna have also your mode selector knob to go into the different setup for the all-wheel drive system. And as you can see in the center console, as I twist it, it adjusts everything. So we're gonna go full track. Ba 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 boom. Red means race. We're gonna light this thing up. You got your launch control button, easy to get to. I love the stitch work, nice soft material on the armrest, lift it up. Easily put 2 trophies in there that you win from your local drag strip as you freaking just amaze everybody in this thing. And then the seats, nice leather, the Trackhawk name, the stitch work. They're not gonna hold you in very well for the twisty bits, but they're definitely comfortable. And you have electric assist for the passenger and the driver. And of course, you got the required red seat belts. That's an additional 5 extra horsepower. Alcantara headliner, yes, even the A-pillars, that gives you a nicer level of quality feel in here. And then now we open up, look at this, you got a panoramic sunroof. So those are the nice extra touches, but why don't you come over here at the business end? I want to show you behind the steering wheel of this Jeep Trackhawk. All right guys, business time. On the driver's side, you got 2 memory seat settings. I like the aluminum sill plate, let you know what your passengers are in for, some supercharged V8 goodness. In the footbox though, there's some zonks there. I think they ran out of aluminum pedals the day they built this one. You only get an aluminum throttle, standard brake pedal, and just a carpeted dead pedal. What's up with that, MOPAR? That's a major zonk, but you do have your seat controls, easy to get to, which is nice. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of headroom in here. Steering wheel is Jeep specific. So you got the nice leather, 2 different styles of leather, plus you got stitching on the horn button, which is a very nice extra touch. That Jeep badge there, Trackhawk on the bottom. They should have made this carbon fiber, this silver part. I am gonna zonk that. Paddles on the back of the steering wheel, I wish they were full length. So that's another zonk, but the dash, I'm really digging. You have a nice, large digital tachometer in the center, all the readouts you need, and then you have an analog speedometer and an analog coolant gauge and fuel gauge there, and then you could toggle through a bunch of different information in that center display, which is really great. The one thing it really is missing is some type of head-up display, but why don't we go ahead, let's get to the passenger side of things, the back seat, and see where they're gonna be screaming for their dear lives as you're doing 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. All right guys, we're in the back seat of this Trackhawk, and I'm telling you, just like any other Jeep Grand Cherokee, your passengers are gonna be very happy to have a ton of space in here, and they're gonna need it as they're holding on. And the great news is they do have an old crap handle on both sides. I think if you're sitting back here by yourself, you're probably gonna wanna sit in the center and be like this. Ah! But anyways, backs of the seats, you do get a little bit of leather. Then they went plastic, which I don't know why they did that, but I guess when you're kicking and screaming, it's probably gonna be good for the back of the seat. I am gonna have to zonk the cargo net, but the great news is you got plenty of space here for pink slips. Once you beat somebody and you take their vehicle, have your passengers store and categorize all the pink slips that you're getting every single Saturday night. Now, as you slide in, you'll see you got rear AC vents, which is nice, 2 USBs, heated seats, and a home power source. So they have a nice command center. Look how they did the stitching. They really thought that through. Close it up. Like I said, I feel really good. The seats recline. You even have a nice high armrest that is soft with 2 cup holders, and everybody gets a red seat. It's a red seat belt back here. So add them up, 5 horsepower apiece. Let's go ahead, let's get to the cargo area and see how fast we could haul the mail that we could put back there in this Trackhawk. All right guys, cargo area time. You hit the button, electric assist, and this is really where I like the Grand Cherokee way more than the Durango Hellcat. And the reason why is just having 1 row for backseat passengers frees up a lot of room. Now, I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, why on the Durango is it a big deal? You could just fold down the seat. Well, without having any seat whatsoever, it gives you the maximum width. You don't have to worry about seat belts and all that junk. We have the official Trackhawk floor mats. These are good for an additional 20 horsepower in this vehicle. Subwoofer out back. You got your 12 volt. This really is the ultimate take it to the strip vehicle because you could bring a pop-up, you could bring some tools, a jack, whatever you need, coolers for some drinks, some protein bars as you're lifting weights, driving this beast, and you have plenty of room for all of that. But you know what? It's one thing to look for the button and close it. It's another thing to hit it. But really what we're here for is we got the red key. We're going on throttle in this Jeep Trackhawk. All right, guys, we left Reeve Subaru. We're in this 2018 Jeep Trackhawk from a dead stop. On throttle, here we go. Wow. Oh my God. Oh on. Whoever did the mods to this, I want to just give you a big old bear hug because you did it right. The sound from that Borla exhaust, the extra power that we're getting from those very tasteful mods, seeing that demon style hood bulge from behind the wheel here, it plants you in the back of your seat. That all-wheel drive, not even a hint of slip whatsoever. And the supercharger whine, oh my God, with that custom pulley, it's even louder than the factory setup. And that's what makes this such a special car. Remember, these vehicles are going bye-bye, right? Less and less V8 powered vehicles, especially supercharged. And to have it in a tidy, you know, we have the Durango Hellcat. I love the Durango Hellcat, but to have this kind of power in a shorter, smaller SUV, I tell you, this Trackhawk is doing the business. And I wish that we could take this to a track to really just see all the benefits of what the all-wheel drive system is all about and all the other nice touches. And then at the end of the day, you're still getting some really tasteful appointments in here. Now, is it the same level of BMW or Audi or Mercedes AMG? No. But what you're paying for with this car, with this SUV, is what's underneath that hood. And the way it makes you feel, Most SUVs just move the body. This thing moves your soul. All right, guys, I want to test out the launch control in this beast. So we're going to hit that launch control button, hold down the brake with the left foot, right foot down. Here we go. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. And then it handles. Look at this. Oh my God. This thing is from another freaking planet. That was a vicious hit in that launch with that launch control. Absolutely mind-blowing. Oh my God. Thank God I have my towel with me. And then the springs that are on this, the lowering springs, actually not too harsh of a ride and really help kind of balance out some of that body roll that you're going to get in the turns from an SUV, because this is higher center of gravity and whatnot. So really nicely done, and it's not beating up your internal organs, which is great. All right, guys, one more time for you, definitely one more time for me. Launch control, throttle down, release, on throttle. God. Wow. On those massive brakes, those 6-piston calipers allow you to shed speed like a husky sheds hair. Look at this, into this freaking turn. Nice. On throttle. The whole package here has been elevated. Not only from a styling standpoint, what's underneath the hood, and then of course you're getting all these fine touches in here, which I'm fine with the 8.4 Uconnect system. I'm fine with some of the harder plastic in here, because this thing is one bad mamma jamma. All right, guys, we're gonna get back out onto the highway and just show how comfortable of a drive this Jeep Trackhawk is. It's basically does it all. You get the muscle car performance, you get a nice higher level interior, maybe not the highest level, but a higher level, and then of course you get on throttle. Golly, look at this. It's like going into warp speed. The Millennium Falcon, when they go into warp speed, that's what this thing feels like. It's really freaking mind-blowing. And whoever did the mods, like I said, high five. I owe you a beer. This thing, it definitely moves the soul, not just the body. Unbelievable. We got to get back to Reeve Subaru. I know LD wants this back. I really don't want to give it back, but we're going to get back to Reeve Subaru and wrap this one up. I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys. Oh my God. It's been a crazy day here at Reeve Subaru with not only this 2018 Jeep Trackhawk, but also one that has some very tasteful mods that I think any potential owner would want to add. It really goes to show that nobody does a performance SUV like the SRT team and also MOPAR. MOPAR or no car, but definitely MOPAR or no SUV in this case. Definitely want to add this to your list if you're looking for that performance SUV. And does it have the right mods? Let me know what you think. Add that in the comments section. Is this exactly the way that you would want your Trackhawk? But if you want to keep seeing performance vehicles, and that's a rhetorical question, just so you know, because I know you want those performance vehicles, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, what are you waiting for? This is what we're bringing you. Hit that subscribe button. I promise you, you'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, you know how we do it here. Thank you for your support. We got to give it up to the queen of that camera. Holding it down, locking it down, getting this beast on video just for you. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. Of course, there's two ways you want us to keep bringing more content for you. Click the first link, become a Raity's Rise Patreon member. Click the second link, get yourself some Raity's Rise merch. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.